In order to be great, you have to ponder profound questions. If people drink water and pee it out as pee, how come we never run out of water? This was one of the many profound questions I had as an unenlightened young boy. For the many minutes I thought about this, it seemed like there was no hope to answering it. When it seemed as though there was no way of quenching the curiosity I had for this question, the sweet elixir, that is the water cycle, entered my life. The water cycle, according to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, is defined as the continuous movement of water within the Earth and the atmosphere. The water cycle can be broken down into 4 simple stages: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Let's get to know how these 4 stages work together. In the water cycle, water begins as a liquid. This could be water in a river, an ocean, a lake, or a dam, and so on. As the warm sun rays beam down on the surface of the water molecules begin to break free from their liquid bonds and transform into a gas called water vapor. This process is known as evaporation. Similarly, this process can occur in trees, where the tree's leaves exhale water vapor. This process is known as transpiration. As this gaseous form of water rises, we enter the second stage of the water cycle. As the water vapor reaches the cooler temperatures of higher altitudes, the water vapor begins to form tiny droplets around microscopic particles in the air. The process of vapor turning into these tiny droplets is known as condensation. These droplets eventually cluster and form clouds. After the formation of these clouds, we enter the third stage of the water cycle. As these clouds start to hold a lot of water, they become heavy. As a result, the cloud releases moisture in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail, replenishing lakes, rivers, and oceans. Water returns to the surface from the atmosphere, and this process is known as precipitation. In the final stage of the water cycle, the water from precipitation may travel along the surface and empty into large bodies of water. This is known as surface runoff. Or, the water may seep into the ground in the form of groundwater, where it may get absorbed by plants or stored in aquifers. This is where the cycle goes back to step 1 and repeats over and over and over again. But that's not the end of it. As we know, several factors play into the water cycle. First, biodiversity loss. Biodiversity loss can lead to imbalances in nutrient cycling, water filtration, and purification processes. As a result, water bodies may become polluted, affecting water quality and harming aquatic organisms. Secondly, there's humans. Humans negatively impact the water cycle due to pollution. Not only does pollution contaminate water supplies, it can also lead to phenomena such as acid rain, threatening the environment, the animals inside them, as well as humans themselves. Then, you have climate change. Climate change, which is essentially a result of all the environmentally unfriendly things we humans have done, impacts the water cycle significantly. The irregular manipulation of water can cause periods of long droughts, or even periods of intense rainfall, making the weather unpredictable. And of course, these changes in precipitation patterns and water availability can lead to habitat loss and fragmentation. Aquatic ecosystems, wetlands, and other water-dependent habitats may shrink or disappear entirely. This disrupts the delicate balance of ecosystems, jeopardizing the survival of many species, including fish, amphibians, and migratory birds. So, it appears there's a lot of ways that we can mess up the water cycle and ruin the environment. So, what can we do to better understand and manage the water cycle to protect and restore ecosystems? Well, for me, the answer would be to reduce pollution, but it needs to be a team effort. Time and time again, we've seen the impact of pollution on our planet, yet no one seems to do anything. It contaminates our water supplies, causes acid rain, kills our animals, kills our plants. I think more money needs to be invested in the education system to educate children about pollution so that the future generations can make better decisions than the ones of today. So, in the end, I finally learned the answer to my very deep question. We don't live in a waterless pea world because that very same pea evaporates, condenses, precipitates, and collects.